So good morning from National Langley Research Center. We're so happy to have you with us online and glad to have one of my yoga buddies here with me in person. Always remember that this yoga practice and any yoga practice that you assume that you never have pain or strain. That's not what this is about. So remember that old adage of no pain, no gain has no place here and really shouldn't have a place anywhere, because when you are hurting, your body's giving you clues and cues that something's wrong. So this practice instead is about listening to your body and learning what's going on within and around you. And that being said, we'll make this a practice of energy, since that's what we're all made of: energies, frequencies, vibrations. And this is such a huge area that we don't pay attention to. So as you come to this spot this morning, this place where you find comfort for a few moments, just noticing the space that you've occupied and how you fit perfectly in it. Take a deep breath and release that breath and ease back into the present moment. Do a body scan starting from the top of the head to the tip of the toes, and just recognizing how you feel, where there may be any tension or tightness. Allowing the top of the hands to gently rest on the top of the legs or maybe off to the side on the mat with your palms focused skyward. Begin to notice that energy circling over the palms. Begin to notice how that feels. Whether it may be heavy or light, thick or thin, punchy or smooth. And then begin to notice the thoughts. What is it that is occupying the space of the mind? The area of the heart. What are the emotions that you hold captive in the heart this morning? Maybe needing to feel them or to let them go, or to appreciate the ones that make you feel whole and complete and good. So take the next few moments to allow all of this to come to you in awareness and appreciation. And then bringing your attention back to the breath. Allow the hands, the arms to lift and come towards one another, but as if holding a very precious ball. filling that ball with the type of energy that you want to consume, the type of energy that you want to extend, because that's what we do every day. We take energy in from others and from things, and then we extend it back out all day, sharing that silent but very important communication that we so often don't take time to notice, to appreciate. So fill this precious energy ball with whatever you wish. Positivity, strength, good health, peace, love. And let this ball grow bigger. So you get to the point where it's bigger than you. And then take a deep breath in, consuming whatever you placed in this energetic field. And then release it back out to others. Take a deep breath in, bringing the arms skyward. Always remember, when we reach with fingers, we soften with shoulders. So during our practice, we never want to cause pain or strain. So even here, just beginning, just reaching skyward, we may notice that the knees are following suit and that they're lifting up away from the ground. Release them back down to the mat. So notice, as you move in one direction, often you need to remind the opposite to just relax and not be a part of the practice. Remember, we hold the posture, but not the breath. Allow the breath to flow. Take another deep breath in. And as you breathe out, gently twist to the right, keeping your hips focused to the front. The right arm comes back, the left arm perching onto the right knee, the right shoulder drawing back. Breathe. Ardhamadhyasana, half spinal twist. Feel the chest opening, the vertebra stretching as you twist. Noticing the inside of the body and how it also benefits from movement. Bring the arms back skyward with your inhale. And your exhale coming to the left now. Again, hips staying focused forward. Left arm now drawing back. Relax through the knees and hips. Twisting through the upper thoracic spine. Breathe. Let's make this a flow. Inhale up. Exhale down. Inhale up. Exhaling down. Getting to notice the body get warmer. Inhale up. Exhale down. Maybe you're able to come a little more into the twist, but again, never coming so far that you feel pain or strain. And exhale down. Nice job. Marry the right arm back behind you to the left, opening up through the chest here, shoulder blades reaching towards one another, feeling that great opening in the chest. Maybe you have the need to bring the face skyward, letting the weight of the head drop back and help to stretch through the anterior portion of the throat. This is your seated cow. And then coming forward, your seated cat, rounding through the back, drawing the navel back towards the spine. Head and neck relaxed. Breathe. Once again, coming into a flow. Inhaling cow. Exhaling cat. Inhaling cow. Exhaling cat. One last time. Inhale to your cow. And exhale to your cat. Nice. Releasing your legs as they may have been knotted up for a few moments. Lengthening through the legs. Just moving, creating movement. Remember, motion is lotion. So we move through the joints, maybe even through your wrist here. Every chance you get during the day, and especially when you first awaken before you can get out of the bed, just move through the wrists through the ankles, maybe lift a leg or two back and forth. This is excellent movement. It's excellent to help prepare the body for the load. So now hips stay in focus again. I twist gently to the right and my chest flows over the upper thigh. It's more chest to upper thigh than it is nose to knee. So I'm pressing through here. Trying to get a great stretch at the hamstring and the back of the leg, but also activating the core as we flex through the foot. And then just hovering the upper body over the lower. Remember, anytime we hover, we use the core very much. So it's very challenging to hover against your body weight. So if you ever need to, you can push into the hands or into a limb. But if you choose to challenge, you would be hovering. Same thing on the opposite side now. As I lift up, hips stay focused forward. It's that gentle twist to the left now, and the chest flows over. So important to keep these hamstrings stretched because the way the anatomy is, they are connected to the lower back. And often if we don't stretch them and they are very, very tight, then they're tugging and pulling on that lower back. And we think we've strained our back often, when it could very well be very tight hamstrings. So real important to stretch, to strengthen, so very important. Nice. Coming to the center here now, feeling the stretch a little more in the inner thigh and more so if I bring my forearms down to the floor. So the higher my body is lifted, obviously, the lighter the stretch. So if I choose to challenge here, I'm keeping the back long and once again, pressing with the chest, not nose towards the body, but lengthening the back and pressing, flexing through the feet, activating the core, stretching through the adductor. Breathe. Nice. So we come on up and we bring the legs together and we set the feet down on the floor. We give the body a good hug here, pulling the chest now to the upper thigh and just rolling through the head and neck a time or two, maybe side to side, maybe a nice full circle here, one way several times, and then the other. Maybe stopping as the right chin flows up the right collarbone here, feeling the stretch deeper down the left. And then lifting up as if gazing over to the right of the room. Remember this, like all other postures, you can come as far, little into it or as far into it as you wish. Releasing the gaze over to the left now. Feeling the stretch more down the right side of the neck. Remember to drop the right shoulder down, away from the ear here. And then pull the chin down into the left collarbone, deepening that stretch. And then gently bring your arms back behind you and separate your feet just a bit so that you can drop the knees down here. So the knees come over to the right. This is such a great stretch in the hip area. Really helping to open up the hips. And if you're able, switch and come to the opposite side without moving the legs, of course, but without lifting up your sit bones. Again, just a time or two, such a great way to work through those hips and also encourage that synovial fluid to move around that joint as well. Remember, as you're moving through the day in those virtual meetings that last quite a long time, not to sit longer than an hour. So get up, move around, do some of these hip openers. Really helping the body to continue the processes that it needs to create, like circulation, enzymes, metabolism. So there you keep up those areas such as the hip flexor, sitting to the left. Those things can happen if we need to. So our hands underneath our shoulders, knees underneath our hips, begin to appreciate the weight in the hand. The yoga is very unique as it is a huge weight bearing activity. So as long as this doesn't bother your wrist, if it does, you can always make a fist. This is excellent as we push into the hands here. And we notice the more that we do, we feel a little lighter, that we can be a little lighter in the knees and our core. It's really tight. Our navel pulls up into the spine, the head and neck relax. This is excellent to build the bone and density of the bone. pressing into this weight. Now, as we look at the hands, we remember that with the hands and the feet, whenever we're on them, we can energize, we can bring that mind-body connection in. So if I look at my hands and I tell my thumb to turn towards my pinky, though my hands don't move, my elbows slightly do, and I feel the engagement of all of those connective tissues up the side of the arm. So you feel a little tighter grip. You feel the arm muscles and connective tissues really come into play here. So we call this energizing, spinning out, dialing in. So whenever you hear me say that, that's what we're doing. From our tabletop, relax back to our child's pose. Ease the arms out in front of you. Find the place where you get a good stretch, and then plant the palms there as you draw the body back. Feel a good stretch down the arms, down the back. Pressing your sit bones back and down. This is your child's pose, Balasana. You can come here anytime you wish. This is your place of rest, your place that you honor the body. Lift back up and come forward, finding your king cobra. Remembering your king cobra, this is the back strengthener. For my upper legs go towards the mat. The more I lift my heart, the more I contract through the back. That feels good. Lifting a bit, always squeezing the gluteus. If it does not feel good, you can lower the chest down a bit, or you can lift the legs up a bit. You can always challenge in your king cobra by lifting the legs off the mat while you're here and just resting on the top of your feet. This is your up dog, much more challenging. And then curl through your toes, push into the balls of the feet, lift the hips up, press the hands forward. Your upside down V, Adho Mukha Svanasana. So it's as if you're pushing away the top of the mat. Hands shoulder width apart, feet hip width apart, lifting the hips skyward, pressing the heels down. Downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. You can bend through your knees here. You can roll one foot over and then the other, tapping the top of the foot. Such a great way to stretch the foot. You can bend the knees together and push against the balls of the feet and the hands, feeling that great stretch up the trunk of the body. Nice. Downward facing dog. Such a great posture. Come forward to a plank. Maybe you're in a full plank. Maybe you need to set the knees down. You choose. Trying to keep a nice straight line. Your plank. Again, lift up. Down dog. Lower. Plank. Nice tight core. Hands under shoulders. Always remember joint on top of joint. Lift up. Down dog. And lower. Plank. Assume your king cobra. And from your king cobra, we begin to bend through the elbows. We lift the lower body up slowly. The more we bend, the more we feel tension, good tension, strengthening through the arms. We slowly come down. It's like a reverse push-up. And then we lift the body. Lower the head, making it parallel to the mat. Lift any weight out of the hands. They're directly under the shoulders. And we found ourselves moving right into Ujjayi Asana, baby cobra. Again, a back strengthener. Elbows in. Little to no weight in my hands. Head, neck, and face expression. Relax. This is all about the back. Nice. Push back up to your king cobra. Lift back up to your down dog. After you practice back strengthening type exercises, always come into your down dog and lengthen through the muscles of the back. Nice. Softly walk the feet forward, softly, because you really want to use the core here. And when you get to your Uttanasana, be very mindful to have the weight shifted to your heels. The toes are still married to the mat, but they're very light. And there's a slight bend in the knee. We do that purposely because we really want to use the core. And remember we said when we take weight off, we use the core more. So that slight bend in the knee makes us use the core more. It also keeps us from taxing all of these ligaments and tendons, the area right underneath the gluteus, so that upper portion of the leg. We still get a great stretch. We still get the benefit of the inversion. So as long as it's okay for you and you don't mind having your head beneath your heart, it is very beneficial. So we keep the weight in the heel, we keep the back long, we drive the crown of the head forward and we come up slow. Arms side. Hands there. And hearts. Release them to our side and we find that moment of dust in our mountain feathers. Where once again, we're able to be still. Assess. Appreciate. Notice. Thoughts. Emotions. How the body feels. How that energy is hovering over our palms. Energy to take in, to extend. Move into a flow. A deep breath. In. And exhale. Now forward, fold, Uttanasana, slide bend the knee. Inhale, your hands to your shins. Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, forward fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, your left foot back and your right, downward facing dog. Exhale, flow forward to a plank, backward fold. Inhale and lift. Cobra. Exhale, fall back. Plank. Inhale and lift. Down dog. Exhale, step forward. Forward fold. Inhale, you're slow, swan dive. Exhale, you're awesome. Round. Come on. I encourage you to do this during your day many times if you can, especially noticing that energy. It's so very important to notice what energy we're giving out, what energy we're taking in, because it does influence our lives. So we have a nice gait here, feet about hip width apart. And we begin to set the sit bones down as we extend the arms out. We come to the point where we feel this in the quadricep, knees on top of feet, head and neck relaxed, navel drawn back to the spine. This is your squat here. If I lift through the arms just a bit, I come to my Uttanasana chair pose. I come back down again. Keeping knees on top of feet, pressing the sit bones down. That's what we do to come down, not leaning forward to come down. Lifting up, chair pose. Come back down. Breathe. Don't hold your breath. Lift back up. Come back down. Lift back up. Nice. Maybe coming down a little further if you can to your seated squat, but if that's too much, remain where we were. Lift and push to your Uttanasana. We're using big muscle groups here. This is a good thing because we're building that strength so that we can continue as we grow older with age to come to the floor and come back up. Again, if you need to be here, that's fine. Do what's best for you today. You can come all the way down. That's fine too. Push through the feet to come up. Big muscle groups we're working here. Again. Keep the knees on top of the feet, so press back with the sit bones and come up. Doesn't take long to notice that. Hands to heart center, left leg behind the right. We found 90-degree angles in both legs, but if you choose, you can always lengthen through the back leg and stretch through that hamstring, pressing through the heel. But remember, if you're choosing to challenge what we talked about earlier, that hovering. So when I bend through that back knee, now I'm working with my body weight here. So I'm having to hover, I'm balancing. I can work a little more with that front foot by dialing it out lightly. So I'm thinking in my mind to turn that big toe to the pinky, and I feel that all the way up into the gluteus. Nice. Come back. Uttanasana, chair pose. Come back down. Squat. Again, lifting up. Chair pose. Come back down. Push through the feet, joint on top of joint, come up, chair pose. Come back down. Again, coming up. Last time, coming down. Nice. Lifting here to your Uttanasana, taking the right leg behind the left. Once again, finding your 90-degree angles or lengthening through the leg, you choose. The more I dip that back knee down, the more I challenge. We've been a little dynamic, so maybe your breath pattern has increased. If so, catch your breath. Dial that front foot out. Nice. And step back. Uttanasana, chair pose. Nice. Coming all the way down into our forward fold, stretching through the legs, maybe keeping a slight bend in the knees. However, just pressing chest to upper thigh, head and neck, release. Uttanasana, forward fold. Remember, shift the weight to the heels, keep the back long, drive the crown of the head forward. On up. Your reverse swan dive. Hands marry at heart center. They relax at your side. Once again, catch your breath. You catch your thoughts. Catch your emotion. You assess that energy. This is very important because, like I said, this energy influences how we feel, whether we know it or not, or realize it or not. So we need to take a time, especially when we move into a new environment, like when you move from one room to the other, or into a room with a lot of people. Notice what you're giving off. Notice what you're receiving. Sun salutation. Bring it on skyward. And forward, forward fold. Bring the hands to the shins, Ardha Uttanasana. Remember, your back is long, your head and neck relaxed, your facial expression relaxed. Lifting the arms, palms to the floor here, you come to your airplane pose, and we are balancing the upper body over the floor. We're working against body weight here by hovering, so our core is working overtime in our airplane pose. Nice. We begin to bend a little more through the left knee, and as we start to pick it up, we jet it back behind us. Lifting the arms up, coming right to our crescent or high lunge. And then we notice what we need to do to balance. So once we shift and change, we assess. There's my weight first. What are the muscles I'm using? Am I straining or causing any bad tension? Am I dialing out that front foot? You can flow forward, building strength, covering. Be on top of foot. Breathe in, up. Press it. High lunge. Exhale down. Cover. Inhale up. Exhale down. Cover. Type 4, relaxed expression. Inhale up. Exhale down. Cover. Nice. Holding here, spinning the back foot out so my toes turn and look towards the long side of the mat. My top foot, my foot in front, these toes are looking to the short side. And I bring my right hand to the inside of my right foot, and I can either keep my left arm back here behind me on my lumbar spine, or I can raise it skyward. I came right into my extended side angle. I notice the weight in the front foot. I press through the back foot, trying to put the whole foot on the mat. Don't lean into the arch. Instead, press the outer portion of the foot down so that you feel that up the outside of the leg. And without launching off of your right hand, if you're able, pick your hand up so that you don't do that. Come up and come to your reverse warrior. Extended side angle is that I've lifted up the body and I'm reaching over. The legs are the same. Let's flow. Inhale, extended side angle. Exhale, reverse warrior. Inhale, extended side angle. Remember, if this is too much, I can rest my arm on my leg. Exhale, reaching over. One last time. Inhale, side angle. Exhale, reverse warrior. So hold here in your reverse warrior. And I always like to remind you and myself that in our reverse warrior, just like in life, when we are focusing now on the different areas, so I'm focusing behind me, but I don't want to lose what's in front of me. So kind of like life, we're distracted and our focus shifts and we forget about things that are important or priorities, things that still should be in the front. So as usual, a lot of our yoga practices, many practices within a practice, and it so relates to our life. So here we want to keep that weight in the front foot, continue to dial it out. Don't lose that front focus just because you've shifted to the back. Nice. Come on into your warrior 2, Virabhadrasana 2. And as your arms open and you settle, you remember to relax through shoulders and you're reaching through fingers. Your gaze is gently out past your fingers. Virabhadrasana 2. And then I marry my left arm slowly to my right, not changing the bottom portion of the body. And lifting the arms, coming right into warrior 1. This is such a great transition, as we discussed in the meetings for longer than an hour. This is a great thing to come up and do. So come back to your warrior 2. Because as you come from warrior 2 slowly, with that left arm marrying the right without changing your legs, you may notice that stretch, that left hip flexor, that left psoas. After you've been sitting, this allows you to lengthen, unpeak that muscle, allowing energy to flow, allowing metabolism to happen, enzymes to meet blood flow. A lot of one arm. So I pick up my back heel and I slowly turn my foot, practicing balance. And it's really slowly varying the mat with my hands, stepping back, right foot to left, downward facing dog. Go ahead and walk your dog. That is a nice long sun salutation. If you choose, come to your plank. When you're in your plank, remember you can always set the knees down. You can challenge here by rotating to the left, coming to your full side plank. If that's too much, you can always set the right knee down and be in your half side plank. Just always remember in your side planks, that's one of those positions where we really adhere to safety. Joint on top of joint, so that shoulder needs to be right on top of the hand, so that weight is not compromising an area. Release back down. Plank. Sit back up. Down dog. Breathe. Remember your sun salutation, you always end with the leg you're starting with. So the left leg now climbs skyward, the left knee comes in, and the left foot steps forward, not throwing it, but stepping it. Finding good form, knee on top of foot. Breathe. Remember, dial that foot out if you can, energize that leg, tighten the core, lift up the hands. Slowly come on up to your crescent high lunge. Noticing right away, balance. Where are you shifting your weight? What muscles are you using to help you balance and hold this posture? Are you straining through the shoulders, or have you relaxed and reaching fingers? Coming forward, hover, tight core, relax head and neck. Push into the foot, lift. Pressing. Exhale, coming down, hover. Inhale, coming up. Pressing. Exhale, coming down, hover. Inhale, come up. Pressing. One last time. Exhale, come down. Inhale, lift up. Go ahead and set the heel down, turn the toes. So we very slowly adapt and move into our warrior legs. So now my back toes looking at the long angle of the mat, my top toes looking at the short. I'm in my warrior one. And I can release my arms down slowly. Remember, I can rest my arm on my leg, or I can release that hand down. I can lift the top arm or rest it. So remember, there's always options to modify. You know what your body needs today, and it might be much different than what it needed yesterday. This is your extended side angle. Push into that front foot. Relax through head and neck. Tighten through the core. Dial out, energize that front foot. Press down to the back foot. Extended side angle. From your extended side angle, lift the hand up so you don't use it to launch. Push through the leg. Come to your reverse warrior. Again, shifting the focus to the back, keeping the front in play though. Just because we shift, we don't lose track of what's going on in the front. Reverse warrior. Exhale down, extended angle. Inhale up, reverse warrior. Exhale down, extended side angle. Inhale up, reverse warrior. Exhale down, hold here for a moment. Really noticing the stretch and lengthening as I reach through fingers. And inhale back up. And moving slowly, gently, adapting well from our reverse warrior to our warrior two. Virabhadrasana 2. Slowly moving the right arm to the left, keeping the legs the same. Now feeling that stretch in the right hip flexor. You notice the right gluteus clamped down a bit. And you feel this great stretch down the front, top of the right leg. Now you're in your warrior one. Let's do that again. Open up, warrior two. Again, such a great transition after those long meetings. Carry the right arm to the left. Feel that stretch in that psoas. And lift, warrior one. And then agility and balance practice, so slight, so subtle, so beneficial. Slowly lifting up the heel, turning the foot gently, came right into crescent or high lunge. Then we slowly marry down to the mat. Marry the left foot to the right as we come into our plank, whether it be half or full. Remember, knees can always be down. Maybe now you want to rotate to the opposite direction, coming into a full side plank on the opposite side. Maybe that's too much and you need to set the knee down. Just never compromise. Joint on top of joint here, very imperative. And release back, lift back into your down dog. Softly walk the feet forward, really use your core. So little weight that you put into the feet here. You find your Uttanasana, forward fold, and then you come up slowly, long back, crown of the head driven forward. Full body stretch. Hands marry in the heart center. Once again, that gift of being in the present. Breathe. Another sun salutation as it's to a hip opener day, and we'll continue that on. So our arms come skyward, we swan dive down. In our forward fold, we bring the right knee up into the chest and we extend the right leg behind us and we wiggle the left foot over to the right. And we've come right into our lizard pose. And just like any other posture, if this isn't good for us, we modify. So a modification here could be to swing that back leg around and bring that bent leg that was underneath you, now bring it on top of you. Either way is fine. Either way, you're opening up that hip, stretching through that piriformis. In your pigeon pose, you can always come a little further here by slightly lifting the heel up towards the face and at the same time slightly externally rotating the knee. So it's almost like you're trying to turn your knee to the left here, all the while stretching through the psoas. Once again, that hip flexor we talked about. So as I lift the heart and lower the leg to the mat, I feel that psoas, hip flexor, stretching, lengthening. Again, a great posture to come into after those long meetings. There's a lot of parts to a pigeon pose. You can be here with your upright pigeon. You can come to a resting pigeon on your forearms. You can even lengthen your arms out in front of you and have a lying pigeon. Whichever you choose. You can actually make a pigeon much more challenging as well, if you wish, by slowly bringing that back leg in towards the sit bones, maybe even gently turning to that side, reaching for the leg. Again, all options. I'm just giving you options. This is your practice. You know what you need to do and what you can and cannot do. Nice. Slowly release back out. Ensure that the hands are underneath the shoulders. As you release this leg that's been knotted up to your flank, back to full, lift it to your down dog, stretch. Walk your dog. You can bend your knees, push against the balls of your feet, whichever you choose. Come forward to a plank again. Hold here for a moment. And look back into your down dog. It's the right leg that climbs skyward into your three-legged dog. Always remember you end with the leg you start with. So now it's the right knee that comes in, the right foot that steps forward. You find that good form. Knee on top of foot, then you wiggle the foot over. So now it's the right foot wiggling over to the left and you settle down. Now, another important part of the pigeon, you're in an upright pigeon, you want to be on top of the hip. So I want to have this a little bit good. I should feel a little bit of like bounce here. If I am off to the side and I don't have that bounce, I'm not utilizing my body weight to open up that hip. And I'm also not stretching, the hip flexor here on the left as much as I could or want to. More I lift again, my chest or my back contracts. You need to be very mindful, as in any position, how your back is. Maybe I stay right here. Maybe I come to that reclining pigeon on your forearms or your arms extended from you. Maybe I want to challenge again, slowly moving that leg in, feeling that quadricep stretch. Maybe even gently turning towards it and grabbing onto the foot. Again, these are all options. You know what you need. I always suggest that you move slowly into this if you come to it, because I know that I can usually get a cramp if I move too quick with the leg, pulling it into the body, so just be mindful of that. Releasing that leg down, easing back to your hands underneath your shoulders. Lifting up the back toes, pressing against the ball of the foot. Lift that leg up and then release that leg, coming to that plank, lifting to that down dog. And then softly, once again, in the feet towards the hands, into your forward fold, Uttanasana. Your slow reverse swan dive. And again, skyward. Area into heart center. Releasing your side. Take a moment to ground. And then moving on to balance, so we have done quite a bit of balance already today in our practice. We always do, but I always like to incorporate a special part just related to balance, because as we age, we lose balance a lot of times because of immobility, but we do need to practice and remind that brain that it's just as normal to be here on one foot as it is here on two. So as we lift one foot up, that's what we're doing. We're training the brain to feel like this is normal. Brain likes normal. We bring the arms into play here by pulling the arms back. Then as we extend through the leg, lifting it, reaching the arms forward, working through that quadricep. As we bring the leg back, we flow into warrior three. Hip bone focus to the mat here. Paralleling out, trying to, the body over the mat. And then lift back up. And we do it all again. Bend through elbow, lift through knee. Extend through leg, extend through arms. Allow the leg to come back, wide the arms forward, Virabhasana, tossing up, breathe. And from your warrior three, if you can slowly lift up and try not to set that leg down until you come all the way vertical, that's a great leg strengthener on the leg that you're on. Okay, same thing on the opposite side now. I'm lifting my right leg. And maybe I want to stay here the whole time. This is balance, so that's fine. Stay here. But bringing movement in is just what we do every day. Moving in balance, moving in balance. So I'm bringing my arms back, lifting the knee, activating the core, extending my leg forward with my arms, activating the quad, bringing my leg back, arms forward, working the core, lengthening the limbs. Warrior three. Same thing, we do it all again. Arms draw back, leg lifts. Extend the leg out, extend the arms out. Drive the leg back. Extend the arms forward, warrior three. Slowly coming up. Trying not to marry the foot to the floor till you come all the way up. Releasing. Tadasana, mountain pose. Breathe. Under the top of our mat, I'm already there, and coming on down by breathing on side, swan diving down the whole fold. A nice tight core, slight bend in the knees. Breathe, relax head and neck. Relax the upper body so that the chest is just gently pressing to the upper thigh. You can even lift the hands up and grab onto both elbows and slightly just kind of dangle the upper body over the lower body. Such a great way to use your body weight to help lengthen through those muscles in the back. Your core is very active because you're hovering. Your hamstrings getting a good stretch. And then release your hands back down, and you can either set one knee down and the other, or then you can come to your seated squat, whichever way you find to come back onto your mat. Scooting your heels to your sit bones, release your body down towards the mat here. And if your heels are not at your sit bones, walk them up as close as you can. We're going to come into bridge pose. It's an inversion, and though it's a milder inversion, we still keep our gaze to the ceiling. So our knees are about hip width apart. Our arms are along the sides of our bodies, palms down. And we begin to push into the feet and lift and squeeze sit bones. But we're not lifting so much that we find an arch in the back. We want to lengthen through the back. Our attempt here is to have a nice long line from the knee to the hip to the shoulder. And it is an inversion. Obviously, the blood flow flowing from the lower portion of the body down to the brain. Squeeze through the gluteus. Drive the navel down to the spine. Everything from the shoulder up, relaxed. Setu Bandhasana, bridge pose. And we can challenge here by lifting the heels up if we choose and push into the balls of the feet, noting how our core came a little more into play because we're hovering. Bridge pose, such a great posture, really for the overall body. Nice. Slowly release the sit bones back down. Walk the feet out to the outer edge of the mat. So the left sits on the left edge of the mat, the right. And then we slowly drop the knee, the right knee, to the left inside of the foot. And feel that stretch of the quadricep, moving up into the hip flexor. But of course, if we drop the left knee as well, so both knees drop to the left, now we feel that stretch really moving up into that hip flexor and psoas muscle. Again, a great posture to come into after these long meetings. Because that hip flexor and psoas stays contracted. So now we're lengthening. Energy is flowing, blood is flowing, enzymes interacting, metabolism happening. Slowly lift, knees back up. Now we're dropping the left knee to the right inside of the foot. And if we choose, we can also drop the right knee so that both are coming to the right. And this is very much what we did at the beginning of class. It's just now we're reclining. So again, really opening up those hips. Or we press that left knee down to the mat and we'll feel that stretch, moving up the psoas, moving up into the oblique. Nice. Go ahead and take the left leg and let it glide over top of the right. So now our bent knees are facing the right. Our gaze shifts to the left, and we came into a reclining twist. Twist are excellent for the body. And remember, especially when you're reclining, you pay very much attention to the back, especially when you're in a compromised position, such as this, a twist. So we want to have that mind-body connection. Think about your abdominal area and tighten it purposely and use it to lift the knees up and allow them to flow to the opposite side. And our gaze comes to the right. So when we do that, that mind-body connection
Then we utilize the right muscles and we don't strain. Otherwise, we could strain through the back muscles here to lift up the knees. Instead, think about your abdominal muscles, clamp down, tighten them, and use them to lift those knees back up. Bring them into the chest, give them a hug, hopefully not your last hug today. Rock gently back and forth. Nice little massage to the back from the mat. Nice, and then extend one leg up and then the other. Soles of the feet are pressed to the top of the ceiling, up the wall. Such a great inversion that most people can practice. It's very simple to just raise the leg for most people. Turn through the ankles, again, that motion being motion. But of course, the main benefit here of blood flow to the brain. So in the morning, when you get up, this is an excellent posture to assume. This can allow blood flow to the brain, which helps to clarify your thought. At night, assume this posture and utilize that blood flowing to the brain for good sleep. Nice. Now bring your right knee in towards the body and lengthen the left out in front of you. If you can hover it, that's fine. If you need to set it down, that's fine too. If you choose to challenge your neck muscles here, you're going to lift your head up and maybe even the upper portion of the back here using your core. Again, be mindful of how this feels, and if you feel pain, it's back out. A great way to strengthen your neck muscles. Go ahead and alternate here, bending through the left knee now, extending, lengthening through the right. Always remember, if you're hurting here, if you're experiencing any kind of pain or strain now, you're going to definitely experience it later. So don't cause yourself pain. Nice. One more hug in with the knees, both together. Hopefully this won't be your last hug today. And then slowly extend one leg out and release, and the opposite, and release, finding Shavasana, Yoga Nidra. This is where we say that we assimilate all the benefits of our practice. Just begin to, again, draw inward to the present. Noticing thoughts, noticing emotion, notice your body. Notice that energy as it hovers over the knee. Breathe. And begin to bring your awareness back to the body, to the breath, slowly moving whatever calls on you first to move. And always bringing gratefulness and thankfulness to be able to move, to be able to tell a wrist to turn, and it does. A leg to lengthen, and it does. When you're ready, rotate onto one side or the other. Take a deep breath in, and as you breathe out, bring yourself up to a seated position. And we are very aware that we're back into the same position, same place, same mat. We're not the same. We are ever changing. So is our energy, our frequency, and our vibrations. Stay aware of that. Stay mindful of what you're extending out to others and what you're receiving. We always end our practice with that simple salutation, namaste. It simply means the light and life in me honors and respects the light and life in you. Namaste. Thank you so much for being here with us. My yogis being here in person, but I love having you there virtually as well. Have a wonderful, safe, peaceful, energetic Friday. Take care.
Thank you, Angie. Have a good weekend.
Thank you too, sweetie. Thanks for being here.